Hello and welcome to Joy at Work. I'm Karen Volo, your Chief Joy Bringer and Director of Evolution Academy, where we are bringing joy to the workplace. And what I want to share with you today is about building bridges. And what I mean by that is oftentimes in larger organizations, you have divisions or you have departments, and they don't really interact with each other. And how can you get them to communicate with each other so there's a kind of a feeling of being together, connected on a deeper level as one organization, right? We've talked a lot about connection already. You'll see that the topics I'm talking about, they all are interconnected and interrelated to each other on some different level. And when I'm talking about building bridges is that, we have this silo effect inside of organizations that makes people feel somewhat isolated, or they make them feel like they're not connected, or we're seeing this paradigm shift in the world, and we're shifting in general from being in companies from being solely profit-driven to being more purpose-driven. And we've already talked about purpose and why that's important. But we see our role here at Evolution is kind of offering that bridge to show the companies that are already there, farther along on that path, as examples to show companies that, yes, this is possible. It's a way to build sustainable business is to, work with purpose and to work with all these different things. And to help people make that transition with their company and their cultural organization as well. And building these bridges is really breaking down those barriers, breaking down those silos. And this is why, the work that we do with engagement is so vital, because when you have an engaged organization, you feel there's an underlying feeling of everyone is connected, everyone is working for the greater good of everybody. We've talked about these cultural keys as well, but it's taking it to the next level and really bringing out the best on an organizational level. And how do you actually break down those bridges? Well, first of all, you have to know that they even exist, right? You can talk to your employees and simply ask, do you feel isolated at work? Do you feel like your teams are able to interact with everybody? And if not, what do they need to do? I'll share with you an example. I've been working with the traffic governmental organization here in Sweden, and they came to realize that all these different departments were very isolated. And how are they going to break that down? Well, one of the key things was they were asking the employees from the HR perspective, well, have you talked to communications? And they're like, no, we just don't do that. And so the HR director went to communications and said, well, have you talked to HR about this? And the answer was, no, we don't do that. And the question was, well, why not? And nobody could come up with answers like, oh, well, why don't we? And so this HR director has been able to connect the different departments in a way that actually opens up the communication so that they can do amazing things together. And they're going through this wonderful transition right now. And it's very interesting to see, because when I'm looking at companies, we see that, especially when we're talking about organizational culture and cultural development, and we're looking at engagement and bringing out the best in people and looking at leadership, all of those things, they're really kind of the caretakers of the culture are the HR and the communications department, marketing communications as well. And that there needs to be that teamwork there, that collaboration of working together. And this is how you break down those silos, right? So marketing isn't off doing one thing, and communications isn't off doing their own thing, and HR isn't off doing their own thing. And none of them are talking to each other. But when they actually start to communicate, you build those bridges, be able to take the business to the next level. So, there's lots of different bridges that we need to build inside of organizations, and engagement is a great way to work with that. So this is why, I love what I do, and I'm passionate about what we're doing here with Evolution, because we're able to help companies build those bridges. And, again, we come back to the societal level as well. We're all connected. We're all needing to, fix a lot of issues out there. And I think the best way to do this on a global basis is that we all, as an individual, take ownership for our lives and realize how connected we are, and then break down those barriers so that we can actually communicate with each other in a really positive way. One of my challenges here is doing this video series so that I can share this message and share this knowledge so that we can have this accelerated learning and be able to, make a bigger impact in a bigger way. So I hope you're enjoying these series. I'm having a fun time making these videos, and it's great. And this is a way that I'm building a bridge to be able to communicate with you as well, right? And that's the great thing with technology, because it's so easy in this day and age to be able to break down those barriers and build those bridges and really connect on a deeper level, have that emotional commitment or emotional connection as well. So anyway, just think about the bridges where they exist or where they don't exist, and how you can start to build them and connect different areas of people in the organization, different departments, and also as an individual, how can you connect to other people? I'll share one little story here as well, because I just came into mind, but there was a large nonprofit organization that was, wanting to work with connecting people more. And so what they ended up doing is creating a little program where they had Skype meetings on a global basis, and you could just sign up, and it would randomly, they had a system that would randomly pick or pair up two people, and that they would connect for their little afternoon coffee break or whatever, and have a conversation. And the most amazing things started coming out from people just connecting face to face and being able to, break down those barriers and say, oh, what are you doing over there? Well, this is and then they started to actually build those bridges because they were able to communicate with each other and come up with ideas that would help each other out. So again, all these different things that I'm talking about are interrelated, interconnected, and it's just the way it's like this web of, knowledge that we can share to create amazing companies. All right, have a fantastic day, and go out there and see what kind of bridges you can start to build inside of your organization. Take care now. Bye-bye.